Yo, what up? It's your man Cross, aka Mr. Dean, and you're listening to the Man Up Club Presents on Holy Culture Radio, on XM Radio. I'm excited about today. It's a beautiful day. Hey, listen, in Minnesota, the weather is looking mighty good, man. I know there's a lot of things that are happening around the country with the weather. A lot of flooding in Texas and some of those southern states, man. And then you got these crazy tornadoes that are just kind of coming through, man. I heard there's maybe 130 tornadoes in 3 days, and that's just ridiculous. It's like shout outs and prayers go out to all the people who are caught up, in some of this tragic weather and who is losing their homes and who's lost loved ones and things like that, man. It's just absolutely mind blowing and devastating to even imagine. What that's like and what that, to be able to go through some of those unfortunate catastrophes. Hey, listen, I'm excited about today's show. It's a little serious show. It's a little different show. I want to talk to you about some things in regards to education for Black students across America and the Man Up Club and what we do in the Man Up Club and why we exist. How we came to be who we are and what the future of the Man Up Club is going to be and what it's kind of looking like right now. These are all important things that I think is important to share with you so that you know what we're doing here in the Twin Cities and then what our goals are nationwide. There is a big disparities when it comes to education in America. And more specifically, a big disparity when it comes to African-American kids versus other kids in the United States. And I'll be honest with you, man, I just literally came back from doing a presentation here in the Twin Cities at a local high school. And I am just literally blown away, and I'm still trying to process it. And for any of you all who are in education, you probably have experienced this and your mind been scratching your head about this, or what have you. But I am completely taken aback by some of the lack of concern for the education of some of our Black students in America. And I know that this goes on across America because I have friends around the country who are working in the inner city and who are working in urban youth development work and facing some of the same challenges. I'm a part of an organization called DeVos Urban Leadership, which is a national organization by the DeVosses. The DeVosses are people who, they based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, also own the Orlando Magic, pretty much also own half of Grand Rapids. But one thing about them is they have this great program, this national program where they've brought together some of the top urban youth workers around the country and in different cities. And it's kind of like a graduate course where you go through a very rigorous lesson plan and development, and you work with other youth development professionals who develop your skill set, your talent, your vision, so it comes to fruition. And you kind of hone in and focus on the things that are important that'll make you a more effective leader within the urban context. And there are some stories that, that we share in regards to what's happening in the urban community as well as in the inner city and some of the challenges. And it's no secret that when it comes to African American males, more specifically, that we face a lot of challenges. And that was the reason why I started the Man Up Club in the first place, because of the challenges that I saw. And I'll get to that. But I went to a school today and set up a booth and was giving out information in regards to the Man Up Club because we're doing a great program. We have a tutoring program that we're doing where we're incentivizing young men to study. And, when I was just kind of hanging out and, during the lunch times and kind of observing all of the students, I'm just kind of saddened by some of the things that I was looking at and some of the things that I was seeing when it came to the Black students. Like, I saw all the students, of course, but I was really disappointed in what I saw from some of our Black kids. Some of the unruliness and the loudness and just kind of just being buck wild and just kind of running up and down the hall with a whole lot of profanity. Even to the point, and the other thing is that I'm looking and I'm watching teachers, and teachers are not even holding these kids accountable. It's almost as if the teachers were somewhat afraid of these students. And I can see how that could possibly be based on, the level of rowdiness. It's almost to the point where our public schools have almost gotten out of control to some degree. And for me, I'm a thinker, I'm a studier, I'm analytical, and so I analyze things. But it was almost to the point where it looked unsafe, and that's what really concerned me. I know kids. I've been in youth work all my life, and I know kids. Play around, goof around, this sort of thing. But when the majority of that aggressive behavior gets unchecked, that's where it starts to become a safety concern. And there was probably about 3 or 4 situations where it could have turned into potential fights. And teachers really was not, engaged as far as hall monitors and what have you. And I was just taken aback by that. And I thought to myself, what are we doing in the educational system? And as I was talking with some of the colleagues at the school, one of the things that they were telling me is that, some of these schools are just kind of passing black kids without allowing them to make the grade. And that's very disturbing, because the question becomes, what kind of future are you setting up for them? I remember one of the reasons I started the Man Up Club was because when I worked in the school system, I specifically remember it very vividly, and it was almost like it was yesterday. I remember that there was one classroom that teachers would always send these black boys to, and that room would just be filled with black boys out of the whole school, and that was the detention center. And I kind of thought that was like a setup, kind of for young men to get ready to be isolated, incarcerated, separated, more from getting used to the prison system, the incarceration system. And so that was one of the reasons why I started the Man Up Club, because I wanted to provide solutions for that. But I'm really concerned about that. And I know there are many of you out there who are concerned about that. We have to get to a place where we're not just passing our kids just to be passing them, just to get them out the way. But at the same time, we have to be in a position where we can hold them accountable for their behavior. And that also starts with building relationships with these young men and young women. But some of the things that I was seeing was just horrendous, man. And I'm one of those guys that, number one, first of all, I'm from the streets. Number two, I understand the gospel. Number three, I'm a part of hip hop culture. I own a record label is one of the things that I do in addition to the Man Up Club. So I'm immersed in the culture. So it's not like I'm far removed. Even though I'm older, it's not like I'm far removed, because everything that I do in regards to my career is focused on the development of young people in one area or another. But as I looked at this, I became very concerned, and this is one of the reasons why I started the Man Up Club, because I started to see some of this disruptiveness, some of this unruliness within the school system, and teachers taking a lack of interest. We have to start putting more money in education and start getting teachers who are qualified to work with kids, number one, who don't look like them or who don't come from their same neighborhoods, and who have cultural competency courses and some type of background and things like that. But then we also have to be in a position where we can hold our kids accountable for their behavior, how they respond, and how they act in public settings. And the sad reality is, of course, the majority of this starts at home. But this is one of the issues that we have when it comes to poverty, because when it comes to poverty, there's always an alignment with a lack of education, because obviously education costs and quality education costs. And so we have to get to a place where we value education, especially in the inner city, because things are growing. Technology is getting more advanced and more sophisticated, and we have to be able to keep up. our kids have to be at a place where they can read at a sufficient and proficient level when it comes to academics. We have to develop social skills to the point where we can communicate effectively and even know how to behave in public settings. But as I was thinking about it, I was wondering to myself, what is the solution to this problem? And if it continues to go at the pace in which it's going, where are we eventually going to end up when it comes to educating our kids who live in the inner city, our kids who live in poverty, our kids who come from a single parent home, our kids who don't have any spirituality or don't have the gospel in their lives? What is the future for kids who come from those circumstances? Do we consider those kids throwaways? Or is there a burden in our heart where we feel compelled to educate them, where we feel compelled to love on them, where we feel compelled to look past our fears to be able to still go out and reach out to them and embrace them, or even have the hard conversations or have difficult conversations with them, that in areas where, they may not completely understand us and we may not completely understand them, but there's like a concerted effort of engagement. And then where's the Jesus factor in all of this? He says, when you do something that's negative, basically, to people, you do it to the least of thee. You've also, done it unto him. You fast forward that to modern day culture. That applies to anybody that's operating at a deficit within society. And certainly, we have many kids who are in our public educational system who are struggling and who are suffering. And this is not a problem that we can just, sweep under the rug or, turn a blind eye to, because it comes full circle. And if we don't educate these children, if we don't embrace these children, if we don't love these children, if we don't have compassion for these children, if we don't correct these children, these are the same people that we're going to have to deal with as adults. Now, putting kids in prison or when they become adults, it's going to prison, that's not the answer. Because you can look at the prison system right now and it's really not about rehabilitation, it's about punishment. And so, when you have a massive group of people who are just incarcerated, but they're not learning any skills, they're not getting educated, they're not getting reformed. And we're perpetuating a problem that just becomes bigger and bigger. And it's kind of like a snowball effect. And these are some of the things this is a burden that's on my heart right now. And this is why I started the Man Up Club, to attack some of these issues. So when we come back in a few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that, we do within the Man Up Club, why we started our program, how our program operates and exists, and what the goal is for our program, and more importantly, how effective our program is. This is your man, Mr. Dean, and you're listening to the Man Up Club presents on Holy Culture Radio. Yes, sir, it's your man, Mr. Dean, and you're listening to the Man Up Club presents on Holy Culture Radio, XM Radio, channel 154 and 140. Hey, listen, I'm talking to you about some real things right now. We're talking about education and educating Black students in America, and why the Man Up Club. Why did I start the Man Up Club, and how did it come about, and what are some of these challenges that we're facing in America today when it comes to educating young Black students? And first and foremost, you need to know that only about 60% of African American kids are graduating from high school. And so what does that mean for the future, of our culture? What does that mean for the future of America? And this is one of the reasons why I started the Man Up Club, because I was a student advocate for about 400 African American students at a high school here in the Twin Cities. And I recognized some of the challenges that these young men faced. And so the Man Up Club started as an after-school program where I would take young men under my wing. I would feed them. We'd meet after school. We'd have conversation. I would serve to them like a father figure. I built relationships with them where I could hold them accountable for certain things like turning in their homework, things that parents would hold you accountable for, things that teachers would hold you accountable for, turning in homework, making sure that you come into school on time, making sure that you're behaving yourself, and all sorts of things like that. But one of the things that I've done that was very interesting was once a week on a Thursday, I would have these young men wear suits to school. Yeah, I would actually have them wear suits. And it was one of the greatest things that I'd done, and it had one of the greatest impacts. So we would have people donate these suits to these young men. And once a week, these young men would come with a suit and tie to school. And just because of them wearing a suit and tie, they would get automatic respect instantly. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to say anything, but just their whole appearance and how they were walking down the hallway. Teachers befriended them. Teachers who typically would not talk to them started talking to them. Kids, their peers just kind of started respecting them. Of course, the young men was excited because they looked good, and obviously they got the girls' attention and what have you. But these are the things that, just some of the subtle things that we would do as a part of the Man Up Club after school program, and holding these kids accountable for turning in homework and things like that, and their behavior. Basically, in a nutshell, what it did was it decreased in school suspensions. It decreased out of school suspensions. It helped kids stay on target to graduate from high school, because many of these young Black kids would just kind of be hanging out in school, not necessarily doing their homework. And then when it come time for graduation, they go to the guidance counselor and ultimately find out, at the last minute that they're not going to graduate, and be upset. And then it'd be a big problem. So these were some of the things that we were engaging in to make sure that these kids was getting a quality education. And of course, you have to take the good with the bad. And so part of that was, me holding the administration and teachers accountable, for some of the things that they were doing systemically. And anytime you hold people accountable, whether they're kids or adults, there's always going to be some level of friction. Like, who wants to be held accountable, right? But anyway, long story short, that's what happened. That's how we started the program. And we were exclusive to the high school, and we knew we had something special. So then we eventually, became a 501c3 nonprofit organization where we wasn't just exclusive to that one school, but we did it so we could partner with churches and other organizations and nonprofit organizations and other schools where we could offer our program. And we partnered with local businesses, and thus we birthed the Man Up Club. Started it officially in 2012 and became a nonprofit organization in 2015. Now, within our organization, our structure is quite different than most. You can mentor in many different areas. But for us at the Man Up Club, we took pride in just mentoring in four distinct areas. We believe in quality over quantity. And so the four areas where we decided that we would be most effective in regards to mentoring young men was in life skills. We felt like young men needed life skills because they were, experiencing life at such a young age and coming from single parent homes. And a lot of times young men was having to raise themselves, but they needed to have the skills to be able, to do that and to do that effectively, absent of both parents, and then just living in the hood, in the inner city or what have you. And they needed these skills. And so life skills was one of the main areas in which we mentor in. Social skills was another one, because we believe that young men need to be able to speak well, to be able to look a person in the eye, to be able to shake their hand, and to be able to say what they mean and mean what they say, how to conduct themselves in private, how to conduct themselves in public settings, and all sorts of things like that, making eye contact. And all of these social things are very important to a young man's development. And then the third area under which we mentor is academic, which is academic discipline. And that's simply what it is education, which is what we're talking about today. Being able to be educated, to study, to be a reader, to know how to do mathematics, to know how to do the basic skills of a general education, and then to go on to be able to do things from an advanced education, whether that's academically or whether that's through trade schools. And then civic responsibility, having responsibilities to where you are, how you are in a space, how you are in this world, how you are in America, how you are in your community. What is your contribution to society? Not to just live in it and exist in it, but to actually make a true and real contribution to that. So that's what the Man Up Club is all about. And so those are the 4 areas under which we focus in when it comes to mentorship. Once again, it's life skills, social skills, academic discipline, and civic responsibility. We believe that if you have these 4 areas of mentorship, that you have a pretty good chance at being successful in life. Now, of course, there's many other areas under which you can mentor, and maybe you should have a mentor. But these were the 4 areas where we felt like we could do a really great job at honing in to develop young boys into young men. And that's what our mission is. Our mission is to develop young boys into holistic young men of character. Holistic meaning that we don't want to just develop one area of their life. We want to be able to develop them holistically so that they can be a well-rounded individual. And then we have 3 goals within our organization here at the Man Up Club. Our 3 goals is, number 1 is to get them to graduate from high school. That's one of the things that I'm talking about right now is the educational system of us graduating only 60% of kids from high school. That's unacceptable. We have to do a better job of getting our kids educated. We have to do a better job of getting our kids engaged and giving them a future. Education is critical. And it's not just formal education, but there's so many different types of education. But as long as the education is positive and the education is informative and the education is going to move you forward, that's what we want to be able to do. The other area is keeping young men out of the prison pipeline. 1 out of every 3 young Black males experience some level of some type of incarceration, whether that's jail or prison. Once again, totally and completely and utterly unacceptable. What kind of future is that for a culture of people? And so, what we want to do is we want to keep them out of the prison pipeline. I found it very disheartening because I was in the court system, in court looking at some of the cases and dealing with real-time court situations. And I serve as a student advocate for some of these kids who don't have parents who can advocate on their behalf in the judicial system. And when you go to court and you look at how that system works, it's a very disheartening system. I'm talking about people who have done the same crime, but they get different punishments. Something I never really understood, something I still today cannot wrap my head around. I cannot wrap my head around it. But I'll be honest with you, and I'll tell you what I did notice. I noticed that when Black people and Black kids stood before the judge, they were getting harsh punishments and they were getting harsh sentences. And then I would see, and let me also include Mexicans in that as well. But I also saw that when the majority of white people stood before a judge, their consequences was not as severe. And I watched how this whole systematic thing played out, from the prosecutor prosecuting the case to the defender, whether it was a paid defense or whether it was a public defender, and how they would work together to try to negotiate a situation or deal. And some of those deals would break down in the midst of the process because, one person may have wanted to add something at the last minute, where, you would have a person who their situation would already be figured out and the recommendation was going to go to the judge. But then when the recommendation went to the judge, it became totally different. I would watch people go in for the exact same offense, case after case, and the consequences were handed out differently for the same offense. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that and how that works. But once again, the goals that we have within the Man Up Club are to, get them to graduate from high school, keep them out of the prison pipeline. And then the third thing is to get them to go on to college or have a trade after high school. Now, don't get me wrong, college is not for everybody. But higher education is for everyone. So if you're academically astute, you may want to go to a university or a college, and get further discipline in whatever field of study that you like. But if you're not college material, There are so many trades out there for you to engage in, so many trades for you to get involved in, so many trades under which you can make a wonderful living, where you can provide for yourself. And if you want to have a family, you can take care of your family off of many of these trades. And so that's basically what our goals are within the Man Up Club. Mentoring in 4 areas, which is life skills, social skills, academic discipline, civic responsibility, with 3 main goals. 3 main goals is getting young men to graduate from high school, keeping them out of the prison pipeline, and getting them to go into college or have a trade after high school. Now, the Man Up Club has been around, for 12 years now. We're still going strong. We're excited about all of the things that we're doing. We're based here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but we do have a goal and we do have a vision. And our vision is to be able to launch Man Up Clubs in every inner city across the country. And that's something that, that's a passion that God has placed in my heart. We're building alliances to be able to do that. I definitely want to talk to you, on the show about that some more. We have many different programs. We recently just moved into our new facility in downtown Minneapolis. We are so happy about that. State-of-the-art facility, about 5,000 square feet, with the potential to grow into about 15,000 square feet in that same building. So our expansion plan is really magnificent. I'll give you the details and the particulars for our expansion plan. But we're just so excited that we've been in our facility for the last 6 months. And we're doing great things. Our doors are open every day, 6 days a week, at 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, and then on Saturdays from 12 to 8 p.m. I'm so excited to tell you more about it and to get into these programs that we have within the Man Up Club. So stay tuned. It's your man, Mr. Dean, on Holy Culture Radio. Great day to be alive. Great day to be in America. It's your man, Mr. Dean. You're listening to the Man Up Club Presents, where we give a voice to young black males in America. Oftentimes when it comes to the voice of the young black male, it's either articulated by somebody else, maybe a parent, maybe a community member, maybe a judge, maybe a police, maybe just the general public, maybe a female, I don't know. But oftentimes it's always by somebody else, and you never really hear from young black males themselves. And trust me when I tell you, as a person who works with them every day, they have a lot to say. And you'd be surprised at some of the things that they have on their hearts and things that they like to talk about and some of the experiences. I am the founder and executive director of the Man Up Club, which is a mentor leadership organization for African-American males between the ages of 13 and 24. And trust me when I tell you that it's imperative that we develop our young black boys so that they can have a future, so that we can pour into them. 80%, now listen to this, 80% of the young men who are in my organization don't have fathers in their homes or in their lives. That is absolutely ridiculous. And we've gotten to a point in society where we've almost tried to normalize for young black boys that not having a father in the home is supposed to be normal. And I'm here to tell you, as a young black boy who grew up without knowing his father, that there's nothing normal about that. There's always going to be a gaping hole of self-identity and self-understanding. And even self-reflection is going to be tough because fathers are extremely invaluable, extremely important to the development of their children. And we got to get to a place where we start to intentionally get fathers involved in their kids' lives. And message to fathers, regardless of what your situation or circumstance is with the mother of your children, it is imperative, and I implore you to be intentional about developing a relationship with your son or daughter for their own personal development. As I was saying earlier, we mentor in 4 different areas, which is life skills, social skills, academic discipline, and civic responsibility. And we have 3 main goals within our organization, which is to get young men to graduate from high school, keep them out of the prison pipeline, and get them to go into college or have a trade after high school. We recently just moved into our new facility, which is located in downtown Minneapolis of the Twin Cities in Minnesota. And we are so excited about it. State-of-the-art facility. I had been searching for a place for many, many years. And I think we searched for a place for about 5 years before we settled on the place that we literally got now. the Bible says that if you're faithful over a few things, God will make you rule over many. And I'm a testament to that, because when we started the Man Up Club, originally started the Man Up Club in 2012 as an after-school program, and we became a nonprofit 501c3 organization in 2015. But I can specifically remember 5 years straight where all we had was a place that we rented, which was just a room. It had nothing but a few tables and some chairs. And we rented that place for 5 years, where we would just come in and meet with guys every Thursday and tutor them every Thursday, shake their hand every Thursday and feed them every Thursday. And we always dreamed about having our own place, but we had to be patient. And we finally got it, y'all. We definitely got it. So we're located in downtown Minneapolis. Our address is 1018 North 5th Street, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55411. Feel free to give us a call and talk to us, or conversate with us about, what have you, anything pretty much. And you can reach us at 612-584-3125. Or you can reach out to us on our website at themanupclub.org. Once again, that's themanupclub.org is our website. We'd love for you to partner with us. You can do that by going to our donation page and becoming a monthly partner for any amount. Everything that we do within the Man Up Club, we do it for free, and we offer all of our services to our young men for free. Feel free to also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram is themanupclub.mn. Once again, that's themanupclub.mn. In our new facility we're so excited about, we have so many great programs. I got to tell you about these programs that we have. So, for example, one of our programs is a culinary arts program. Our culinary arts program is a program where we basically bring young men in and we teach them how to cook. Now, we do this every Wednesday and Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. They get to come in, they get to prepare a meal, they get to serve the meal to the guys that are in the Man Up Club, and they learn how to cook, know how to use utensils, know how to work in the kitchen and be safe with that. So we're excited about that culinary arts program. So if you want to partner with us in regards to that program, we'd love for you to do that if that's something that you would like to support. The other program is our music program. Now, I've been in music all of my life. I'm a pioneer of Christian hip hop music. I was the first Christian hip hop artist in the state of Minnesota. I've been in music for about 20 years. I've been blessed to be a Grammy nominated artist based on a project called Holy Hip Hop. Volume 1, we done 10 volumes. That was done on EMI. Shout out to my CHH people around the country. Y'all know what time it is. And I also have a record label, which is One Way Entertainment, where we have several artists that are on our record label. Many of them you might know, like Sis and Lil Bro, which is the brother and sister hip hop duo, which happens to be my son and my daughter. And then I myself am an artist on my label, along with several other artists. And so what we've done is we've taken our record label and we've partnered it with our nonprofit organization, where we can offer young men in the community transferable skills so that they can come into our music studio and they can learn technical skills on how to engineer, how to do music production, how to work on Pro Tools, mixing and mastering, and things like that. And then we've also in our program, teach songwriting, how to write a song, or if they have skills and talents, they can come in and record their music. We only have a couple of stipulations when it comes to our music program. Number one, there's no profanity. Number two, there's no N-word. So, we're pushing positivity. And so that's a great music program that we have. That music program operates on Mondays as well as Saturdays. So if you know of a young man that's in the Twin Cities area that wants to get into a music program, we would love to have him be a part of what we're doing here at the Man Up Club. Another one of our programs is we have a fitness program, which is a full-fledged weight room. Yeah, absolutely. Went from tables and chairs to a music studio to a kitchen to a weight room. And so, yeah, we have the weight room, and we have a personal trainer that comes in and trains the guys on nutrition and how to lift weights and how to work out properly and effectively and safely. We do that every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. With Lexi. And that's a great opportunity for young men to learn how to take care of themselves from that standpoint, from a health standpoint. And then I'm excited about our other program, which is called Youth Build. Our Youth Build program is a construction program. So me and my wife, we own a commercial construction firm called Eden Resources that specializes in commercial construction. building from the ground up, all sorts of buildings and owners' representatives to project management and the whole gamut of construction. And so what we've done is we've partnered with the state of Minnesota. We've partnered with Deed. And so we employ up to 7 young people between the ages of 16 and 24. And we pay them by the hour to learn how to build and learn the construction trade. And that's a wonderful program. And so once they get proficient and efficient in that program, then we put them on real commercial construction jobs. And we also pay them prevailing wage. And if you know anything about prevailing wage, you know that that's a lot of money. And so we're excited about our Youth Build program. As a matter of fact, we have a new program that's coming up, a new class that's coming up in our Youth Build program that's going to start in July. We're going to do a summer program. Our Youth Build program lasts 6 months. So those young men, and what's interesting is the Youth Build program is actually for men and women, boys and girls. Yeah, so the Man Up Club is actually offering a service to young ladies now through our construction program. And so, they come in, they get the practical knowledge in regards to construction. We have a hands-on workshop where they're building things, but then we also have like a lecture where they're actually learning the discipline and the academics of construction. And that's one of the programs that we are very super excited about. And all of this is operating out of our new facility in downtown Minneapolis. There's some additional attractions that we have within the Men Up Club that I'm really excited to go through with you. So when young men come into our facility, they sign in. I'm just giving you like the day in the life of a young man who's a part of the Man Up Club. Every day after school, we open at 3 p.m. and we go until 8 p.m. But they come in and they sign in. They have the option to play video games, Xbox and PlayStation. Of course, they love to do that. We have a video wall, which is a white wall, music video wall, under which they can come in and shoot music videos or TikTok videos and things like that. We also have a garden in the back where they can plant and cultivate, agriculture and grow food organically. This is a new summer program because, of course, we live in Minnesota, so you can't do that year round. But that's another one of the programs that we have. We also have a program called Permission to Grieve. This is a monthly program where if you've lost someone, we help you through the grieving process. And it's a sad reality, but unfortunately, there's a lot of young Black males who suffer from grief because of the violence that happens in the inner city community, and we have to be able to help them process through that. I'm also excited to mention we have a tutoring program, and our tutoring program is a paid tutoring program. Now, go imagine that. Yeah, we actually pay kids to study. Now, some of you might say, well, why are you paying kids to study? Well, that's no different than giving a kid a scholarship to college to study or a job to be smart at a particular job, and they get paid. So we want to start that process early. And so we tutor 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we pay them to come in and learn. As long as I have a motto that A's and B's equals money. If you make A's and B's, you got a great opportunity to make some money in life. And then the other piece is that we have we take them on field trips to do different things to get them out and get them exposure to all sorts of things. And then we also have a Suit Up program. The Suit Up program was the program that started in 2012, where I would have the young men wear suits once a week to school. Well, now we just have people from all over the country donate suits to our organization, and then we have young men who come in to get a suit, whether it's for a job, or what have you. But I believe that every young man should have a suit and should be able to clean up and dress really well. And then we have a festival, a major festival that we do every year called Godflow Hip Hop and Hope Fest, which is one of the largest Christian hip hop festivals in the country. I bring some of the top Christian artists from around the country, but I'll tell you about that in our next segment because we got Godflow coming up on August 17th. So this summer, so mark your calendars right now. Start making plans, get your tickets ready. You know what I'm saying? Start making travel plans because we're going to do it big here in Minneapolis. And I'm going to talk about Godflow in a minute. But hey, listen, this is your man, Mr. Dean, a.k.a. Cross, you know what I'm saying, on Holy Culture Radio. And you're listening to it. And we're so excited about this program. We're excited about this opportunity to be able to speak into the lives of these young men. Remember, if you want to partner with us, go to our website, which is themanupclub.org, and we'd love to have conversation with you. There's a lot of opportunities for you to volunteer and just become a part of what we're doing. And we're family-based. We're gospel-based. We're a Christian-based company, a faith-based company, and we believe, in the gospel. And we're doing our job to disciple these young men and get them ready. It's your man, Mr. Dean, and you're listening to the Man Up Club Presents on Holy Culture Radio. Hey, listen, you can tune in to us every Thursday. Catch the radio show or catch the podcast. The podcast is definitely on YouTube at The Man Up Club Presents. Show comes on at 8 o'clock Eastern every Thursday, and you can catch us in person or through the radio. Talking to you today about the Man Up Club and who we are and why we exist and what we do. And how we do what we do, and basically what my purpose is and what my calling is and what who I've been called to serve. And I'm so excited about that because it took many years for me to develop the Man Up Club and the concept of the Man Up Club and to bring it to fruition and to be able to expand it. And now that's where we're at, into a position now where we're flourishing within our organization. We're changing lives. We're helping young Black males between the ages of 13 and 24. We're mentoring them in 4 areas, which is life skills, social skills, academic discipline, and civic responsibility. We have 3 main goals within our organization. That's to get them to graduate from high school, keep them out of the prison pipeline, get them to go on to college or have a trade after high school. And so we're trying to do our part to serve these young men because we realize and we believe wholeheartedly that they must become valued, contributing members of society, and that's what we're about at the Man Up Club. Our whole mission within the Man Up Club is to develop young boys into holistic young men of character, and it takes a lot to be able to do that. It's a walk. Our mentorship is not fly by night. It's not here today, gone tomorrow, because many of the young men in the urban community, they experience that. 80% of the young men, as I said earlier, don't have fathers in their home. And so for us, we're very strategic. We're very methodical about walking with these young men through life, walking with them through their mistakes, walking with them through their ups and downs, and being there for them. We have so many programs within the organization. I talked to you about the different programs that we have. We have a culinary arts program. We have a music program, a fitness program, and a youth build construction program. And those are the core of what we do within our organization. And we also, pay them, we give them stipends, but we also pay them for our construction program. And then we pay for young men to be tutored. And then we have so many other different things in our new facility, downtown Minneapolis. We have a gardening program. We have a video wall. We do a permission to grieve program. We have field trips. We do a suit up program where you can contribute lightly worn and new suits to these young men. But I was just telling you about Godflow Fest because Godflow is a festival that we do every year, and it's a national Christian hip hop festival that we do based in the Twin Cities. And so what I do is I invite all of the artists, all the prolific Christian hip hop artists from around the country to come and showcase their talent. And we do an outreach to the Twin Cities. This started, I started it back in 2015 and was doing it really small, but then we scaled it up with the murder of George Floyd, because during that time, there was a lot of unrest in the Twin Cities. Obviously there was riots and a lot of violence that was going on. And our mayor and our governor and chief of police and all of our city officials and even our clergy and church was just kind of panicking, trying to figure out, what do we need to do? How do we connect with these young people? How do we share something positive with them? Spiritually, how do we share the gospel with them? How do we minister to their heartbreak? How do we minister to their needs? And so we were already doing it. And so what we decided to do was we decided to scale up Godflow Fest. And so what we did was we had preachers from all over the city come give testimonies, young people give their testimony. We always brought in one celebrity who could speak to the community, who would resonate with young people. Our first year we brought in T.I., he came, and then we had Cedric the Entertainer. Last year we had Angela Black China White. I don't know who we're going to have this year. I'm excited about who we're going to select, but I haven't selected them yet. I'm still getting fillers out there. So if you got somebody that you know who's a celebrity and who loves God and who doesn't mind sharing their faith with the urban culture, hit me up and let me know. Email me at info@themanupclub.org. Once again, that's info@themanupclub.org, or call me at 612-584-3125. I would love to hear from you. But Godflow Fest is a big festival. And we've done it at First Avenue. We used to do it outside in the hood. And then we took it downtown Minneapolis to First Avenue. Now, if you know anything about First Avenue, you know that's where Prince shot Purple Rain. Classic, right? Yeah, definitely. So we done it at First Avenue. It was awesome. We bring about 15 to 20 dope Christian hip hop artists from around the country. And then we have sponsors. If you have a business or an organization and you want to be a sponsor of Godflow or a sponsor of the Man Up Club, definitely hit us up. Go to our website at themanupclub.org. We would love to partner with you. This year, Godflow is going to be on August 17th, which is a Saturday. We're going to be doing some seminars. We got some dope artists that I can't tell you who they are right now because we're finalizing their agreements. But as soon as I get them signed, I'm spilling the beans. Definitely spilling the beans. Godflow is always hosted by Sis and LeBro, which is Selena and Titus. Check them out on social media at WeSis and LeBro. That's WESIS, the letter NLILBRO. Follow them. They just dropped a new album called Versatility. It's blowing up and doing well. Speaking of music, I forgot about my own self. Mark your calendar for May 31st. Yes, in a couple of weeks, I'm dropping a new single called Streets Don't Love You. Yeah. I still do it every now and then. I kind of throw something out there, you know what I'm saying? Just to let them know, you know what I'm saying? And I still got it, man. I still got some friends and fans out there who want to hear some music from Cross. So I just throw it out there every now and then. But hey, listen, we got a lot going on. We got a vision for the Man Up Club. We started as an after school program. We became a nonprofit in 2015. Now we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We just moved into our new facility 6 months ago in downtown Minneapolis. But the vision for the Man Up Club is really to be a national organization. My goal in my heart and what God has really placed inside of me is to expand the Man Up Club to every inner city across America. I want to be able to go to every inner city across America and walk into a Man Up Club facility. Think about that. A place where young Black boys can come and get tutored. They can come and get mentored. They can get a good hot meal. They can get loved on, develop their spirituality, and just kind of relax and have a sense of belonging, a home away from home. I need your support. I need your help to be able to do that. That's why I want you to partner with us. So if you're in any of these inner cities across the country and you have a passion and desire and you want to be able to help young men, let me know. Let's partner up. Let's connect. Let's find out who the stakeholders are in your city and in your community who really want to bring about positive change. Don't you think it's time for us to stop killing each other? Don't you think it's time for us to start graduating and getting educated? Don't you think it's time for us to really start understanding who God is and how God can guide us in our lives? Don't you want to see young men avoid going to prison and never have to have any, see the inside of a jail cell or a prison cell? These are the things that my heart beat for. These are the things that keep me up at night. What would it be like to be able to see a Man Up Club in every inner city across the country, and then to be able to do national conferences based on manhood and development? That's exactly what I'm all about. That's what the Man Up Club is all about. And if that's what you're all about, we need to link up. That's the goal. Let's talk about how you can help. You can help the Man Up Club in a multiplicity of ways. One of the ways is you can help us fundraise. We're always fundraising because everything we do is free. We're a nonprofit organization, so we're not for profit. Everything we do, everything we bring in, we give away, and it's to serve the young men within our community. But right now, we don't provide transportation. And that's one of the deep needs within our community. And so we're fundraising for transportation. We want to purchase 2 15-passenger vans so that we can get young kids into our facility and they don't have to have a barrier of how they're going to get to us. We also developed a youth build construction program where we employ 7 young people to learn construction. And so we want to be able to expand that program. I want to be able to employ up to 33 young men and young women in construction. That's a field that's been really dominated by white males for centuries. Not a lot of black people in that field. Definitely not a lot of women in that field. Certainly not a lot of black women in that field. My wife is in that field. She's a beast. She actually runs our construction program. But I want to be able to expand. So we have a whole nother side to our facility. And I want to be able to open a Youth Build Man Up Academy, Construction Academy. And I want you to come and help me do that. So let's get started on that work. We also have a tutoring program. We're always looking for great tutors, people who can come in and sit with young men and help them learn academically. And we also pay our students to be tutored because we want them to understand the value of education. And we want them to know that if they apply themselves and they sit down and they be disciplined, that they can create a viable, economic engine and lifestyle for themselves just by applying themselves academically, and that there is value in education. And you can come and volunteer, basically just doing anything. Come sweep the floor, man. Do anything. Come wipe the windows. Come be a part of what we're doing. We're doing something really special, and we're changing lives on a daily basis. And it takes a village to raise a child, and you're part of the village. We want you to come and connect with us, or just come and hang out with a kid and get to know him, or come be a mentor. So many young men need somebody that's positive in their life that can hang out with them and kind of show them the ropes and things like that. Or you can just donate to our organization. If you don't live in the Twin Cities, you can just hop online, go to themanupclub.org, go to our donation page, and you can make a one-time donation. You can become a monthly partner. You can make an annual donation. And if you have suits, you can send them to us, as long as they're lightly worn suits or new suits, and young men can fit them. Yeah, that's what we're about at the Man Up Club. This is your man, Mr. Dean, and I'm excited about what I do. I've been called to do this work. My goal is to give a voice to young black males all across America so that they become valued members of society. Check us out, learn more about us, read about us, write us, critique us. Just get connected to what we're doing. We're excited about what we're doing. We've been called to this work. Really missing my 2 co-hosts today, those guys. I love those guys, my man Jamario and my man DJ. These are 2 young guys who are part of the Man Up Club, who I have a soft place in my heart for, who are on their own life journeys right now to develop themselves into becoming quality young men. And that's what it's about. That's really, what we do here at the Man Up Club is we develop boys and we walk with them through life. There's nothing more valuable than your time. Your money is great, and we certainly need your financial support. But understand that if you have a young person around you, there's nothing more precious that you can give them than your time. Your time, you don't even know how much of it you have. Think about that. We give things that we know how much we have of. But time, we don't know how much we have of it. That's why it's so precious. So give of your time. Give of your heart. Pour in. Do what you need to do to make this world a better place. Hey, listen, this is your man, Mr. Dean, a.k.a. Cross, and you're listening to the Man Up Club on Holy Culture Radio. Come connect with us every week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time. Tap into our podcast on YouTube. God bless y'all, man. I'm out.